welcome to Open Chat. I thank you all for being patient with me while I made the decision to not be going on every Monday. I'm sorry, folks, but I was just getting more and more exhausted all the time, and I felt like I needed to cut back on something. But I do welcome my non-existent audience. And folks, on vacation. So I had a bunch of hours, right? And I was going to push it till summer, but I've just been so stressed out, so tired lately that it's just like, you know what? Nah. I'm going to take it now. I'm glad I did. Doing better number-wise, don't get me wrong. Much, much better number-wise at work. But, the stupid's just getting worse, not better. Just getting worse. Oh my God, last week. Wow, last week. Let's see here, but I demand that it works now. This is not the right department. Anyone to town manager? My manager cannot do anything for you. You need to speak to the proper department. And yes, my favorite. What does out of stock mean? Yeah. I needed a break, so here we are, or semi-earlier than usual, I don't know. But anyways, just to kind of pass the time a little bit before, I don't know if I'm going to get an audience or not. We'll find out, I guess, right? Right. I did just post it. Sorry, I'm running a little behind. Usually don't throw makeup on, but I felt like I could use the little boost in confidence because it's been wearing thin. So, at least it looks good, right? It's not too bad. I'm not the best at it in the world, but anyways, just kind of babbling. All right, so this was going to be a normal open chat where we just kind of all let off steam as we normally do, but about circa about 2:30, after I did my second set of exercise for the day, something came along and hit my TL on Twitter from the autistic community that I'm a part of, and yeah. Whew, I've got some stuff to share. Not bad, MC Nemesis. Good to see you. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. So, yeah, anyways, been a lot of things going on in disability Twitter lately. Quite a few things. The laws getting passed through. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But this article here, what I'm getting ready to show you, I'll actually go ahead and put a link here in the chat. This kind of left me reeling earlier. I didn't even know really what to think. I'll leave that in here. So this went around the neurodiversity right side of Twitter semi late in the afternoon. And we are going to go over it. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen here. Let's go here. All right, this is Vice. And let me here says, inside private group where parents give ivermectin to kids with autism. I've been applying ivermectin liquid to my granddaughter's feet, belly button, and swabbing her ears for 6 weeks now. She complains of sporadic blurry vision and headaches. This is another episode of really weird crap that is given to autistic kids to, fix us. It gets worse. And a private group on Telegram whose children are living with a range of disabilities, including autism, Asperger's syndrome. By the way, Asperger's syndrome was removed from the DSM-5, back in 2008. People in the media really don't know what they're talking about. When it comes to us, they really don't. And Down syndrome cheer each other on and provide support when discussing daily struggles. But the channel's main function isn't actually support. It's to promote the use, get this folks, veterinary ivermectin as a treatment, and in some cases a cure for these disabilities. Hundreds of parents have turned to this conspiracy network, and they are recommending a drug to each other that experts have repeatedly said is designed only for large animals and is so concentrated that it can be ingested by humans. And the channel parents even share stories about their children experiencing horrific side effects from the drug, including fog, severe headaches, nausea, muscle pain, and seizures that are routinely dismissed by those running the channel, claiming it's a normal part of the healing process. Oh, dear God, this is why I hate pseudoscience. A review of the chat's 8-month history reveals parents complaining that their children suffer from a wide variety of side effects after taking the ivermectin paste, including vomiting, changing in complexion, seizures, lethargy, hyperactivity, agitation, and headaches. Major brain fog today after splitting headache, one user wrote last month. Another wrote, I've been applying ivermectin to my granddaughter's feet, belly button, swabbing her ears for 6 weeks now. She complains of sporadic blurry vision and sometimes headaches. Bleeding or mucus or vomiting or diarrhea or acne or peeling, aches and pains or hot flashes and sweating are all good signs of clearing out your body, another member wrote. This is healing. Keep going. That's nothing. Wow. The Telegram channel was established in July 2022 as an offshoot of the much larger pro-ivermectin group Dirt Road Discussions, which was set up in October 2021 by Danny Lemoy, who took veterinary ivermectin for almost a decade to, he said, treat Lyme disease. When ivermectin became hugely popular among anti-vaxxers as a treatment for COVID-19, Lemoy leveraged his experience with the drug. There is no evidence to back up the claims that ivermectin formulated for humans or for animals is an effective treatment for COVID-19. Lemoy died suddenly earlier this month at the age of 50, with what the admins of his channel described as a heart that had nearly doubled in size. So Learning to Fly is exclusively focused on the use of ivermectin for children. Lemoy shared ivermectin routine for kids in the Dirt Road Discussions group before he died as well. And many members of the group speak openly about giving their children veterinary ivermectin. The Learn to Fly channel, however, takes usage for children even further. It is for mom and dads with kids on the spectrum, the founder channel wrote in a message describing the group last year. My daughter is 30 years old with Asperger's syndrome, and my son is 28 years old with autism. We're all free on ivermectin and started mid-February. Jesus Christ. And a pin to where to start. Admins give new members a guide about what to expect and how to begin giving their kids ivermectin by first applying a liquid form of ivermectin to the bottom of the children's feet. Just get a dab on your finger and run it along the arch of their feet, the instructions say. A week later, parents are told to start administering ivermectin paste internally. Jesus. The channel also provides advice on how to explain ivermectin usage to the children. The best way to explain it to the kids is have a cluster of pairs that are in part of the brain that causes outbursts. Oh, for God's sake. Make the pseudoscience stop. When the parasites in that part of the brain get attacked by ivermectin, the parasites panic and release toxins as well as get active. Their death dance, the channel guidelines state, this will affect the kiddos and their behaviors. It won't, folks. It literally won't. And when children experience side effects, the channel admins that it's all because the ivermectin is driving out the parasites. They call this herxing, which is a real term to describe an adverse response that occurs in people who take antibiotics as a treatment for Lyme disease and a number of other illnesses. Herxing can be an issue with our kids, the channel admins wrote in a pinned message. They have so much overloading them already. Herxing adds more. Remember, things will get worse before they will get better. They will have days when it looks like their behaviors are getting worse, but it's only temporary. This is herxing. Jesus. My daughter started having blurry vision on the ivermectin. A member of the lecture wrote this channel wrote. She started with severe headaches, alternating with stomach pain. Now her vision is very blurry. Being advised she's in the first grade, I don't want her to miss out on all the learning that is so crucial at this age. Response yet another parent wrote, press on through, it's working. Members of Learning to Fly channel believe that almost anything can be cured by taking ivermectin. Some say Down syndrome and such cannot be healed. I don't believe it, the channel wrote in a post earlier this year. Her daughter is also an active member of the group, and when another member asked what the efficacy of ivermectin, the daughter wrote that every from inherited multiple generational blood sugar disorders or autoimmune conditions to Cohen and autism have been cured or not made notable progress so far. That's a lie, folks. I can tell you, that's a lie.
It's animal dewormer. You give it to dogs to prevent heartworms.
Hey, Paul. Other parents have asked a variety of diseases. My youngest is 5 and was diagnosed with alopecia in January. It started right around Christmas time. Does anyone have any knowledge about ivermectin being beneficial for that? A user wrote last week. In response, the channel founder wrote, I have heard anyone here with it, but I did find it on the list of things cured. All right, folks, there we go. There we go. Let me get back here. And I'm sorry, my computer's a little slow.
Oh, you're going back. On the list of side effects in animals is muscle convulsions, apparent headache, blurred vision, nausea, refusal to eat.
The list goes on, folks. And this is just the newest thing that's come out of the UK. Before, it was last year, actually. We had GPs that were recommending to parents that they get their children to drink bleach. No, I'm not kidding. This was a thing. We're literally getting the children to drink bleach.
They tried that.
Please don't remind me. So yeah, this is just another in a long list of pseudo cures and insanity that all these people will put us, people like myself, through in the name of curing us. Sometimes parents, I'd rather be shot than have your so-called cure. I don't care what it is. You are putting kids at risk. At risk. And this is also on the fact that I know out here, U.S., this is U.S. side, mid last year, when I was getting the information from advocates out on the East Coast where they were irradiating the frontal lobes, the frontal lobes of the brain, using radiation on the frontal lobes of the brain of autistics to take away behaviors. Radiating our brains. And this was a Yale study. what's going on, but there's always been these pseudo cures for autism and these different developmental disabilities, right? I mean, we all know that Jenny McCarthy, don't get me started on Jenny McCarthy. I will go for the rest of this night. God, I despise that woman. You got the gluten-free. There were so many like pseudo-Asian cures that they were peddling in the market early 2000s. Like you strap like these herbal patches to the bottom of your feet and leave them there overnight. They'll suck the toxin out of your body. You had people just selling all kinds of craziness in plastic capsules. I mean, good God. I remember when, take your fish oil. The fish oil is going to help your brain get better. But it's just getting more dangerous. Every single new thing they come out with. At first, they started with diets and all that, but it's getting more insane. And anti-vaxxers getting more insane. Because the people who've been pushing this, the people who've literally always been pushing this, are the anti-vaxxers. And it all goes back to circa late 90s when it really took off. Because of may he die in a fire. Dr. Andrew Wakefield. And he started and kicked off the whole anti-vax movement, right? And it's gone downhill since then. To this day, there is still no evidence. None. And literally the studies have been exhausted at this point in time. None that vaccines are related to autism or any other of the neurodevelopmental disabilities out there. None. There's a lot of evidence that it's genetic. I can, in fact, look at my own family, particularly my dad's side of the family, to be able to clearly see that. My dad had very strong autistic traits. I have autism. My little baby nephew has Down syndrome. And it's in particular for his generation that I'm becoming more and more terrified as this goes on. Because it was bad enough with us. That was pretty bad. Then we had the millennials come up. And you had that was the famous area, kind of mid-early 2000. That was the era of the snake oil salesman. That's where the snake oil salesman had his resurgence, right? You're going to take this powder, drink this little drink. You're going to take this herbal pill, which probably is grass thrown into plastic and sold to you with a fake dream. A lot of that. People lost thousands of dollars. Thousands. I've seen, this was kind of later 2000s, a little bit closer to here. We're talking about circa 2015, 16, where parents were actually taking their kids to these places, making them, God, I can't remember what the term was, but basically they were making them go through the same thing that people who have suffered from heavy metal poisoning have gone through, because of their idea that somehow the MMR vaccine has triggered the autism. And there was severe repercussions. You take perfectly healthy kids with nothing wrong with them, and you put them through that. Very obviously, there's going to be some issues, but it's been since the 2020s, unfortunately, that now we have resorted to bleach, radiation, and now horse dewormer. It's getting more dangerous. And these people are actually growing in number. Before, anti-vaxxers were a very annoying but small minority. But since COVID and all that insanity happened with their anti-vax, where they basically blame it's the jab for everything. Yeah. Now that group has grown, and the solutions that they're coming up with are becoming increasingly more dangerous. So, yeah, it's become absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Then you still got places like the JRC, the Judge Rotenberg Center, who's continuing to torture us and put us through painful skin shocks at 85 MPa, just below the lethal limit for shock, multiple times while being bound by all fours. You got the JRC, we're still fighting here. It's been a long mess. So I know I've kind of been jabbering here. Looks like I'm kind of by myself again. Oh well. But yeah, so we have that now. Now we've got parents in the UK who are officially giving their kids horse dewormer to cure them from everything. As an individual in the US who used to look up to the UK in regards to, Oxford and all those great colleges that have been founded, like some of them over 1,000 years now, been around. How did this happen? How did we allow this to happen? This massive misinformation campaign that should have been easily nipped in the bud a long time ago. Talking about the inmates running the asylum, right? Anyway, it's just a second here. Hoping this thing is charged. So yeah, that's been going on. Also, on the Agape boarding school situation out there in Stockton, still no news. The current Attorney General is still giving none of us any information at all. None. So far, it looks like the case has been absolutely stalled to a halt entirely. Completely stalled. So, I've got no court dates from what they've been showing here. It looks like basically Missouri's trying to bury it under the rug. All the abuse, the rampant pedophilia, what's happening to those boys there. Proven by court documents and ER documents, I might add. And it's just getting quiet under the rug. And I'm just baffled at the fact that there is not a louder outcry from the populace that this is being allowed to go on. No, they'd rather lie about the drag queens here. It's my state for you. Send help. Send help. So here's what's been going on. Agape's continue to be pushed back and pushed into the background. And what's been put into the forefront is the drag queens. And the drag queens have been around here for years. Years. They had their night downtown one night every week. Nobody cared. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, they started going on and on and on and on about the drag queens. Well, I live here. This is the third largest city in my state. I can tell you for a fact what the GOP is trying to push out here in the news. Grooming children, right? It's a lie. It's a lie, folks. Literally, none of it's happening. Literally none of it. What you did have is a voluntary event at the public library in which an individual dressed up, not in a freaking G-string, not in all that stuff that they've been splashing all over the media, in a fully covering dress with wig and everything to look like Mother Goose. Did they talk about inappropriate subjects with the children? No. You want to know what they did? They read the nursery rhymes of Mother Goose. I know this because I've seen the footage. I've seen the pictures. They are not trying to get into the schools. They are not trying to have inappropriate conversations. Now, I'm not saying that that may not be going on somewhere else. I simply do not know. But I do know that I live here in this town. Many of these drag queens, they have been my friends. They've gotten me out of sticky situations, especially when I was in my 20s. They're not doing any of this at all. They're not pushing anything. You have one person reading in a library, Mother Goose, once, and everybody loses their minds. Speaking of being one of the largest cities, this city is ran by its mega churches. 100%. They have all the money, all the power out here. Absolutely, they do. The girls out here, they're not stupid. They are not going to be doing things that's going to paint a larger target on their back than is what is already there. Personally, I think that they are targeting them, at least out here, because they're trying to bury their own sins, particularly the politicians who continue to feed into this. I'm just saying. Always fact check, folks. I mean, we gotta know now. It's 2023. We can't trust the media. I mean, my ass is from the 90s, folks. I knew back then not to trust the media. Good Lord. That was a whole generation of people who refused to just be spoon-fed by the media and was very, very anti-PC. That was the entirety of our culture. Everybody was against it. I don't know what happened. It's been a total, complete 180. Fact check. It's as simple as that. You got to fact check. Okay? It's very simple. That's all you got to do. All right. Now, let me see here. I don't know if I started too early. I don't think I did. I think it's because I got the word out so late. Let me see. I have an idea that lately on Twitter that I've probably been shadow banned. For what? I don't know. Who even knows at this point? But I've noticed even when I'm putting out my videos that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it shows in replies instead of showing that it's an actual tweet. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. But yeah, it's been weird. It's been weird lately. Okay. All right, we're going to give it a few more minutes. We've been on for about 31 minutes now. It looks like the majority of my folks who usually come on here are not coming in today. I don't know if nobody's getting the link, which is probably possible, because I do think I've been shadow banned. I'm not surprised. Can't have anybody dare go against the anti-vaxxers now, can we? God forbid anybody like logic and facts. But anyways, I resent the link out. We'll go for a few more minutes. If nobody comes on here, we'll go ahead and close it up. All right, folks. So we've gone over the article here. Let's see. We've talked about the targeting of the drag queens. I can't help but think there's some kind of agenda going on there. It's been too weird. They've never been a problem until now. You have to ask yourself why. Right? Especially in a predominantly Christian city. Something's up there. Something's rotten. Right? Okay. Let me see. See if anything else has popped up. All right, folks. I'm just going to kind of sit here for a minute, see if we get anybody else in. If you need to take a bathroom break and you're actually watching, please go ahead and do so. If you're new and coming on, please holler out in chat. All right, folks, we've been going about 34 minutes now. Oh, 34. Out around there. And it doesn't look like we're going to get any of our usuals in this evening. So I hate to do this, but I'm going to have to close it out early. But hey, I do appreciate everyone coming out here. If you're just jumping on and you're starting to see this, please, before I hit that end broadcast button, type in a hey. I'd appreciate it. Usually these tend to be a little bit more interactive than me just battling. Yeah. Give me a holler real quick. Alright, okay. I think we're just going to have to go ahead and close out, folks. I hate doing it so early. I know we usually go about an hour or so, but it doesn't look like anybody's available this evening. So I appreciate you, particularly MC Nemesis. You can come by anytime. I got over 1,000 videos up. Well, good majority of them about the Judge Roberg Centerpiece. Take a look at those. Share them. I appreciate everyone, and we hope to see you next time. Not next Monday, but the Monday after that. I hope everyone has a good one. Bye-bye.